I am in my personal development this morning, and I realize it's Thursday and we are due for a team call. So I don't have anything prepped, but I'm going to just say what I think our team is really needing, and that's a little bit of sharing our struggles every day, sharing our story, which is honestly the biggest part of what we do as coaches, because it's the part that people can relate to. It's the part that makes people drawn to us, to want to know us. It's the part that helps people know who we are and what we're about, and that we live ordinary lives just like they do, but we're in the midst of something greater than ourselves. And people need to see that. They need to see us being raw and being vulnerable and sharing that. And I know that it's really hard for some people to get outside of their comfort zone, because being in front of the camera is hard. It was a little hard for me at first. I'm a social person, but getting in front of the camera is something a little different than being one-on-one with somebody to me, and it's a little harder. So I completely understand. It's something that we all have to overcome in order to reach that next bracket, though. The more people see our faces, the more people see our stories, and the more people see our faces through videos, the more they feel drawn to us and who we are. And I think it's such an important part of your growth, about this team's growth. And I know that all you guys are in individual places in your life and journeys and hurts and pains that you have gone through that define how you view things and how you feel right now, and perhaps even closed off the door to want to share that part of your life because you're afraid people are going to judge you or feel judged. Pretty much, you're just scared of being judged. It's part of the shame and the guilt that comes with letting something out of the closet. But it's also, if you're a believer like this team is, it's also how God uses us to set us free. And it is so hard to trust that, because you're in the moment and you feel that fear and you feel that doubt, and you're just unsure of what, pretty much the open up the can of worms of what it's going to do to the people who receive it. That's not up to us. And part of our faith is to trust that God knows us inside and out, and he will work everything out for good, even letting out a big dark secret or a big struggle that we are going through. I know that Michelle struggles with her past. I don't know every single detail of what she has gone through, but it really desires for me to know what that is, because I love me being who I am. I love hearing about people's stories, and I love hearing about people's journeys. And so I'm in this personal development book right now, right? And it is this one, 5 Habits of Women Who Don't Quit. It is so good, and it's so real. I'm just going to read a little bit of it to you so you know where I'm coming from in the next things that I'm going to say. So it's about the book of Ruth, and it is super cool to read how she was so steadfast, and she continued on despite her desires not to want to continue. And she did it anyway, and she watched God's blessings just pour on her because she continued on even when she didn't want to. So I'm going to just read a little part. Ruth remained steadfast throughout her entire journey, and now we are beginning to see how God's leading her every step into something special. Staying open to his movement means we stop trying to determine where our commitments ultimately lead. It's putting one foot in front of the other, slowly but surely. Let's just imagine for one moment what could happen. You don't feel like going to help out in the nursery, but you accept your assignment, follow through with your commitment, and rock the babies anyway. It just so happens that baby's mama comes to know Jesus that day, and a family's forever changed by the grace of God. You are now a part of that journey. You don't feel like going to the gym. You're tired. It's been a long week, but you accept your assignment. Follow through with your commitment to get healthy and go anyway. It just so happens this workout pushes you to the level that sustains you for weeks. You don't feel like completing that project for work, but you accepted this assignment, so you follow through anyway. It just so happens this was the project your boss was waiting to see you finish to give you that promotion. This just so happened moment is huge for Ruth. It's when she encounters Boaz, spoiler alert, this man who is going to change everything for Ruth and Naomi. You know what I love about our God? I just never know what he's up to. We can't predict all the good things he wants to do in our lives, but we know his word tells us he honors those who keep his word. When you make a vow to God, don't delay fulfilling it, because he does not delight in fools. Fulfill what you vow. Better that you do not vow than that you vow and not fulfill it. I believe God is looking for some people today who will keep their word, follow through despite how they feel, and leave the results to him. And on the opposite side of this type of obedience is blessing. How awesome is that? It is so crucial for us to realize, and it comes with growth and seeking and making that choice to follow through on our commitments to be coaches, even though we don't want to sometimes. Some days are really, really hard, harder than others. There is a level of hard sometimes. You know, it's a little hard today. It's really hard today. Today I woke up, I didn't feel like wanting to do anything. I really didn't, but I'm going to follow through with my commitment anyway, because I don't know what God is up to, and neither do you. So this journey as us coaches, I really think we need to work on focusing our heads in God's truth and following through on the commitment that we set out to do initially, even though we don't want to. And part of that is sharing our lives. Now, there are certain things that really help with sharing your story, and that's just being vulnerable and raw. Literally, no edit. Just speak from your heart. It is so important that people get to know who you are. And that's how they're going to trust you, and that's how you're going to find people who you probably haven't even met, who read your story one day and are like, oh my gosh, you totally spoke to me on so many levels that I want to get to know you better. Or even if it's not fitness related at all, just something about you. It builds trust for those people to see you be vulnerable and share that. And then when they're ready to continue to see your journey in fitness and working out and doing whatever, they're going to come to you because they really trust who you are and what you're about. And that is the biggest part about growth in this business. You need to be raw. You need to be vulnerable. You need to show who you really are. And, you know, sharing videos. Okay, so there are some apps that I love. I love for recording your videos. I've been trying to Scope lately, and it's been really cool seeing people on the other side of that screen. Just random people who just are following you because you might have something good to say. And you don't know them. You don't know what they look like. There are some creepers, though, that you really need to block. I'll just give you that FYI if you decide to Scope. Some people that are just inappropriate, you should just block it right away and just get them out of your feed. It's very distracting, but I try not to look at the comments as you're talking. Scope is a really good way to just get out there and just video yourself. Just anything that's on your heart. Sharing pictures of you. I always say people want to see, so now we live in a world where like everybody wants to see pictures of everything, right? Videos work so much better than pictures, so I'll say that first. If you're a person that enjoys being in front of the camera, like Michelle, she's amazing in front of the camera. I think, Michelle, you should just go with it and make videos of yourself and just say what's on your heart and working out or whatever. And it is so I heard, I'm in a social media training, and they're talking about how Facebook is trying to be like the next YouTube. And that means that Facebook wants to keep you on Facebook as long as possible. And really, what way does Facebook keep people on as long as possible? Through videos. You know, you can see a picture and like it and continue, right? And you can scroll through the feed. But when you're watching a video and it's 5 minutes long, you're on maybe 5 minutes longer than normal. So videos are such an awesome way to show yourself, your journey, your life, about who you are. I would encourage all of you guys to try doing that. Just get out of your box. Remember, we're not defined by what people think of us. So stop fearing what other people are going to think about you when you get in front of that camera. Look into that camera like it's your best friend on the other side and just talk to them and be real. That's what people want to see. It is so important to learn how to share even what you think might not be important, to share it anyway, because you just have no idea what one person wants to be hearing from you or see. And that one little tidbit of information that you thought wasn't relevant ends up being something that just makes somebody's day. You have no idea. Don't prejudge what you're going to say. It's like us prejudging what God is going to do before he does it. You can't do that. You don't know how God is going to use us. You don't know what God is up to. So you need to just trust. Leave those commitments. Just follow through with your commitment and let God do the rest. I always say that. You have to trust in who God is, what he's doing through us. This team is so special, and I know that you guys feel it, but go with it and just trust what he's doing. So sharing pictures of yourself, I use apps. I'll tell you which photo apps I use. I use Photofy, Photofy. Excuse me, I love that app. It's really cool. Rhonna, Rhonna, really cool app that really, you have to learn how to use it a little bit, but it's super easy. It's nothing you can't, it's not hard. Adding your pictures, then filtering it and just adding a little, little edit to it. Not that you're changing anything about yourself, you're just changing the look of the picture. That always is like a game changer when you're looking at a picture and it just looks so pretty. It's just the edit. It's just the filter that you put on it. So Rhonna is really good for that. Another one's really good for filters and just editing small little things is Photo Editor. And it looks like a little, oh my gosh, it's this one right here. That one, Photo Editor. I use that one. I use Typorama too. That's really cool. You could actually add your logo to it. Most important, figure out who you are and what you want to stand for. If you were not a Beachbody coach, what would you want to be known for? That's what you need to market, and that's what you need to brand. So it takes time. It took me some time, and it's okay if you're still new and you're just figuring that out. But think about what you've gone through. Think about your journey. Think about what matters to you the most. Think about what you're really good at and share that. Because what you're really good at, somebody else is not. That's what sets you apart from any other coach out there. Mike is awesome at photography. I would use photography to brand himself. I'm sure Mike actually, he's pretty comfortable with figuring out who he is, Mike, I'm sure. Because you're a photographer and you know what you like, you know what you're about, you know what you study, like the science and what you do for work. Like I would brand that. Like Laura, I see Laura is amazing with talking to people. Her strengths are Pyo and yoga and Pilates and strength and mind and soul. I would brand Laura that way. Figure out what colors are your favorite colors. What are the colors you normally are drawn to, wearing, painting on your walls, things like that. What color scheme and palette are you drawn to? Use those colors to brand yourself. What kind of fonts are you drawn to? You drawn to bold fonts? Or for me, it's like script pretty fonts. That's what I'm drawn to. That's what I always tend to navigate to. And use those fonts in every single picture, every single post, team announcements, anything team related, Instagram post. Use the same color and the same font for every single picture. So when people see you and they see those color schemes and those fonts, they're going to automatically think of you. That's how you set yourself apart. Think about this. If you think about Nike and Coca-Cola, you can see a Nike sign and a Coca-Cola from another side of the room because of what its brand is. That color red and that font. You know that's Coca-Cola, right? So that's what you want people to remember you by. So start figuring out who you are, what you stand for, what you are good at, what you love. What colors do you love? What fonts do you love? And that's how you start making your brand. And that's how you start building your cover photos, your pictures. Anytime that you post a picture, use that same scheme. And that's how you start figuring. And then I also am learning, not only is it for your brand, but it's for your team too. So whoever you are, bring that color scheme, those fonts, those ideas into your team. And that's how you celebrate everybody. And that's how you post. And so all of this is part of learning and being a new coach. And this stuff maybe in the beginning is not as important to you because there's a lot of foundational stuff you need to focus on first before you figuring out who your brand is. But when you're getting in front of the camera and you're taking those pictures, people need to know who you are. And that is how it all begins. So, you know, reaching those people, inviting and sharing is all about figuring out how you talk to them, like be who you are. Don't think that you need to have the perfect script to reach anybody. You don't. What people need is you, genuine, authentic you. They need to know that you're speaking from your heart. You genuinely care about who they are and what their needs are and what they're going through. Not a script where they know that they're being automated and they get this same text that you send to everybody else or same message. You don't want that. You want people to feel like you're literally on the other side of that screen, just, hey, how are you? What are you going through? And if there's a little certain way that you talk, be that quirky self in your messages. Don't take that out of your messages because that's not you. You have to be you. So be unique, be authentic, be genuine. So I don't know if this helped any of you, but I hope that it did. I hope that you got a little bit out of this. I really want to hear what you guys need. I'm afraid to make these team videos on topics that you guys are not ready to see because I don't know where you are in your journey. And I really need to hear from you what topics you want me to start covering. Because, I mean, I can just wing it and just make up a slideshow and give you stuff that I'm learning. But if you guys are not there, it's going to be waste. Maybe not, because you guys can look back on it later. So I guess that I'm prejudging, I guess. I'm sorry. But I really just want to meet you where you are, and I want to know what you need. We need a team call, like one-on-one, and I know that for those that are going after it, I would love to be able to help you chase after that and continue to reach those goals. I know that we have Allison, who's just like, she went to Super Saturday on Saturday with me and Megan and I, and we had such a good time. She's on fire now. She's like, I want to get to Emerald and I want to get to Diamond, and I think she's just finally understanding what it really means after hearing testimonies and stuff, like how life-changing this opportunity really is. You have to see it even through the hard times. You have to remember the commitment that you have made. And time management is also a really big issue with this team, and I really believe that it's okay to go through the season that you're in. Things are they get crazy during different seasons. Laura's in the middle still of her renovation, and it's just chaos, working in the middle of chaos. I can't imagine what that feels like. And so working around that and just knowing that this is a season is okay, Laura. Like, cut yourself some grace. It's not always going to be like this, and you're doing amazing for what you've been given. You really are doing an amazing job. Just continue pushing through, like, just any opportunity you do get to sit down and work and take advantage of that and make it as effective and focused as possible. And that's how you're going to maximize the time that you have to growing and paving the way. I know that trying to balance work, if you're a full-time worker, and this business is no easy task. But knowing that you only need one focused hour is important and crucial. You don't need to work this business 5-6 hours a day and feel like you're not putting enough in. If all you get to do is do your personal development and invite and share your journey, that's all it takes, really, to grow. I don't know how long it takes for each and every one of us, but it's going to be different for each. And I'm okay with that. You have to be okay with that. And you have to allow yourself some grace to know that you are just being given this time where you can't focus a ton of hours on the business, and that's okay. If there's a vision that you see and you have a deep why, you're going to bust through that, whether it's only 1 hour that you get for months. It's okay. I'm okay with that. I can help you get to the next level if you want to get to the next level. But I need you to reach out to me and let me know what that is, because I don't want to pull anybody where they're not willing to go, where they're not wanting to go. And I respect where everybody is. But if you want it, there has to be a dedication and a drive to push through it no matter what happens. I know if there's anything I've learned is that I've decided this is something that I want and I'm going after, and I'm doing whatever I can now to train myself to grow outside my comfort zone, to get into a cold market, to reach people through email. I just know that I need this, and I'm doing what it takes, and nobody's going to stop me. And if you have that same mindset, I'll run with you. I will run with you. Hold on. She's chewing on a glove. This dog. No. No. Oh, goodness. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, real life. Here we go. See? So, all right, guys. I just wanted to give you that. Give you just what was, felt like I had to make this call for you. I hope that some of it helped you. And if you have anything you want to add, you want to comment on, feel free to do so. You know where to find me. So, love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.